It's hot, and then even that hot yet. We're barely even getting to this son of a. Ooh, it's like an oven in this motherfucker. Oh my god, damn. Woo! What's good, everybody? So, in this video, one, it's freaking hot. Two, I'm gonna do something that I see gets asked all the freaking time, and I've seen multiple people do it. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible. Going to convert my girlfriend's car from OBD0 to OBD1 as simple as I can make it, with everything you need. I'm covering literally everything, which isn't much. The main things you need to convert to OBD1 are going to be your distributor, an OBD1 ECU that matches whatever you're going to run. If you're going to run like a B20V or an LSV setup, you can probably run like a P28 or a P72, being a D16 Z6 or a GSR ECU. Just depending on the setup, you know, I'm not sure how it's gonna run, but that can get you just to have the VTEC ECU already, but you will need to tune. Or if you're running like an LS motor like I am now, you can run also a PR4 or a P75 ECU, which is an LS computer. Or if you're running like a B16, P28 should work no problems that I know of. I've seen multiple, and I've ran multiple cars with P28 on a B16 swap. Runs no issues. People even sell those computers, are just known very well for it. And for running a B20, I've seen a lot of mixed discussion about that. You can run a B20 with a PR4 or P75 ECU. It's just, I hear a lot of people say it either runs too lean, it runs too rich, it runs good. So I don't know. Okay, this is the ECU I had. I just noticed it doesn't have an under tray, which I'll get for it right now. Don't mind the cover, but this is where they'll show their labelings at. See right there where it says P75 in the center of the computer. If it's a GSR, P72, P28, D16, Z6, PR4, the LS ECU. I think this is just like the newer version. A lot of people prefer, but my opinion is the same thing. Especially if you're gonna chip it, same thing. The only reason you would want a P28 or a P72 VTEC for a non-VTEC motor is if you're gonna tune it, you can disable VTEC, and if you plan on throwing a VTEC head on in the near future, a GSR, B16 head, etc., you can then use that P28 to run VTEC instead of having to convert a P75 or LS ECU to run VTEC. So you can do that, but it's a little more work. But that being said, that's what you're gonna use. And then you will need a jumper harness. This is the one I took off my hatchback, off my EF. I mean, it works perfectly fine. This is, I believe, a Speed Factory. When you guys are buying these jumper harnesses, I would highly, bold words, highly suggest buy one that's a very, at least good brand. Because I mean, back in the day, I used to buy these eBay ones and they worked decent, they worked great, but after a while, like if you end up like removing them all the time, the wires end up like just pulling out, they end up breaking. So they're not the best, you know. They're only like $25, $35 the most for eBay ones. Or if not, I've seen them where they're not even wired correctly. Same goes for like the jumper harness off the distributor. That's why I always hardwire my stuff, so I know exactly that it's gonna for sure work. I'm not relying on a jumper connector. I haven't seen too much problem with the Dizzy ones, but I have seen problem with these. Like I said, this is a Speed Factory. Multiple brands sell them. I know like Block, Speed Factory, and a couple other brands sell that stuff. So yeah, just make sure you get yourself a good quality OBD0 to OBD1 jumper harness. You don't run into those issues, because the last thing you need to do is do all this work and then find out it doesn't turn on. You think you have computer problems, you haven't checked engine lights, and all it is because you spent like $15 on a little kit. Not saying that they don't work. If you guys have one, you know, they work. I've used them. Not saying they don't work, but I've just seen recently like a couple people buy them and then they just bunch of issues. So yeah, need jumper harness, your ECU of your desire, and your distributor. So for distributor, I do have an LS, so I will be using an LS distributor out of a 94 to, I believe it's like a 90, 94, 95 Integra that has an LS OBD1. Or if you're running a B20, same exact distributor, they both fit off an Integra. And then if you're running like a B16 or a GSR or Type R, whatever swap, VTEC head at least, you will have to get that VTEC accordion distributor, so B16 GSR. And the reason I say that is because the mounting positions, they won't line up correctly. You either have to cut a leg off or something. And then if you guys can get an OEM distributor, that is the best way to do it, because again, with EB distributors, if you're using like a timing light, you will notice, well, I've noticed at least the ones I've had, I'll be trying to set timing, and sometimes like I just put it to where I normally am used to putting it at, and it won't even start. Next thing you know, timing's like freaking 10 degrees off. At least a good quality distributor. I don't know if the auto parts ones are any good, but I've had people have luck with those. But eBay, yeah, that's still OBD0, but I'm just trying to let you guys know. So yeah, you will want to do timing also, just to make sure that the dizzy is reading correctly. So yeah, that's 3 main components: harness, ECU, distributor. A lot of people do switch out the injectors for OBD1. You really don't have to, because I mean, you know, you still have your resistor box and all that stuff. I will show you guys, you don't require it. Some people do it. I'm not saying that's a bad idea, because I did the same thing. This is just as budget as it gets. Probably the thing you're gonna spend the most on, in my opinion, if you don't have it already, is a computer, just because markup. So the distributor, simple enough, it's gonna be 3 12s, 12mm bolts, one right here, and one down there. All right, so I just got the new distributor put on, and these are the new plugs you guys will see more than likely, which are the OBD1 plugs. Yes, this is an eBay one. I know I just said not to use an eBay one. I got right now. So with this one, I know where the timing's at, because yeah, I had an issue with it. That's why I was mentioning to you guys to not get eBay ones. But as you guys can tell, I had to notch this back a bit on the mounting point so I can turn it back and get to the timing point I needed. So it still grabs fine, everything works good. But yeah, so that's where my timing is going to be. Well, not timing, but this is how that time my distributor is going to look like. As you can tell, here is the old one, OBD0 clips. So then from here, once you put it on, you're still able to use your old spark plug wires and everything, just in case someone else has questions about that. But yeah, you're able to use your old wires, just put the dizzy on. And you want to make sure you put this correctly, because you can flip this 180. There's a little notch right there. There's a little fatter side of the cam. Usually you wouldn't be able to put it on, but if it also doesn't start because of that, just, you know, make sure. But she'll slide in relatively simple and easy. So there's that. Okay, so at this point, obviously you guys can tell the 2 plugs are different. So now you just click off the video, because I don't know what I'm doing. Nah, I'm just playing. All right, so what I have done here from the last owner we got this car from, their wire it took was basically tape up everything. No offense if you do that, please don't do that. At least throw some lume over it, because then you get all the wires all sticky, and it just, man, it just makes a whole mess. But anyways, so all your wires should match up. It's gonna be kind of a tricky one for me, because these wires are all over the place. So I know I have OEM plugs, so I'm gonna go off the wiring off that to show you guys this. But the only one different from the rest, if you guys have an OEM distributor to this one, is gonna be the yellow, should be yellow green, but as you guys can tell, it's not. It's this one right here. Technically on this one's yellow black or whatever the hell it is, but yeah, you guys should have a yellow green wire, which is the igniter, which is the one that goes to the ICM. On this one, you guys can tell we don't have no yellow green. So on the OBD0 plug, the one that's gonna be yellow green that goes for the igniter, the ICM, is gonna be this white wire. The way you can tell, because OBD0 has 2 white wires, there's this one and there's this one. The one you know that it's for sure the ICM one, when you unloom it, the white wire is by itself. It is not within these strands of wire. You do not want to remove this stuff. The shielding inside of it protects the wires from any interference, since they're like so sensitive. but this one white wire just sends a signal to tell it when to spark and stuff like that for the ignition coil to the ICM. So this white wire on an OEM distributor is what's gonna go pinned to this one. I'll show you guys what I mean right now, but yeah, that's what that basically is. And then the rest of the wires match up besides the two. Let me go see if I can find them. Show you guys what I'm talking about. So don't mind the distributors in pieces, but this one does have the OEM colors, so I'm using it as an example. As you guys can tell, same exact plug, nothing changes. But like how I said, the wire is supposed to be yellow green. Look at that, the yellow green. So okay, so these are gonna be the OEM wires of OEM distributor. These, I think, is like an auto parts distributor, so that's why they're the same. But you know, this is what you're looking at. You're gonna have a peach blue, peach, white blue, white, green yellow, blue yellow, and a blue green. You might not be able to see it that good on this one. Oh yeah. So for the most part, all the wires that are right here are gonna legit go right where these match up. The only two that change are the peach, just peach alone, and the white. Either on your dizzy or your harness, they're flipped. So the white will go to the peach and the peach will go to the white. If not, either it's not gonna start, or you're gonna have a code 9. Good luck trying to figure that out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and depin this real quick. When you're gonna pin this one, you can go two ways about it. You can either depin this, get a plug that fits this one, which is the female side, which I have. You can depin it, or just straight cut them, splice them up to the new plug, and yeah, go like that. Okay, so change of plans. I cannot find the actual connector that goes to this side. I thought I had one, but I don't. So yeah, so all I'm doing now is, instead of making the connectors OBD1 on the harness side, I'm making the distributor OBD0. Hope that doesn't get confusing. So basically all that means is, instead of using this plug, this one right here, I switched it over for the stock distributor one, down right there, and I'm now pinning this on this one like that, OBD1 to OBD0 plug, to match up with this one. So right now all I did was get the yellow green wire. I say this because it's yellow blue or whatever the fuck on that one, with the yellow green wire to this thick white wire, this one right here. So if I connect them, see, that one goes to the bottom pin, goes to that one. So now, like I was saying, or I was telling you guys earlier, that the only two wires that get flipped are the peach and the white wires. Peach and white. On the actual eBay one, they're actually the same. So yeah, peach and white. See them right there, peach and white, or peach and white. The white goes to the peach, and this white, the bottom, goes to the peach right there. So these two wires, you can tell, they get flipped. Peach is on this side, on the top one, and the white goes to that one. So yeah, just make sure you flip those two. Okay, just like that, they're all done. So yeah, like I said, just match up all the wires, literally match them up, besides the white one, like I said, on OBD0. Thick white one, that's by itself, goes to the yellow green. That should be on the OEM colors. And then the peach white, just solid peach, solid white, flip them. Okay. So the white on this one goes to the peach on that one. The peach on this side right here goes to the white on this side. You literally just flip the wires. That's all you gotta do, man. From there, plug them up. Okay, and then the only one that I didn't have the actual plug for, and it doesn't work either, is this one right here. This small plug, all it's for is RPM and power. So same thing, blue goes to the blue, and the black yellow, which on this case is black white, goes to that one. So yeah, that gives power to the distributor, and that's how you get your tach signal, your RPM. So yeah, and then from there, put back your spark plug wires. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the order. And now I'm gonna just tighten this up to the spot I know it's give or take the closest. I still need to do timing either way, and then we'll go to the ECU side. Okay guys, it is freaking hot. Like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, we probably don't even get that hot down here, and I'm over here freaking bitch. So this is a stock ECU car. Like I said, it's still OBD0. I have a wideband wired up for it because the main reason I'm doing the OBD1 conversion is because, for one, it just drives really sluggish. Motor is out of a newer vehicle. It's out of, I think, of a 96 Integra. So it's like a OBD2 motor, I guess. It shouldn't matter too much, but I don't know. I feel like just with this OBD0 setup, it just doesn't run that right. So I don't know. It's weird. So I'm hoping with the OBD1 it'll run better, and I'll be able to tune it so I can at least make it drive a lot better, if that makes any sense. So yeah, plus OBD0 is hella old. So yeah, so I have a wideband hooked up. At idle, I was like at 17, and yeah, just numbers weren't good. So with that being said, unplug the computer. Oh, I need 2 hands for this shit. Okay, like I was telling you guys earlier, look at that, PR4, but this is OBD0. Look at the plugs, a lot different. And then for the check engine light, OBD1 blinks the check engine light. This one blinks the ECU. There's a little LED in there. So yeah, connect them all together. So the big one goes to the big clip. Dude, it's fucking hot outside. Oh my god. Alright, everything's plugged in. At this point, get your OBD1 ECU. As you can tell, plugs are completely different. And just match them up. And boom. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. It's freaking hot outside. I literally turned on the CRV, kicked on the AC, and I was like, you know what, let me chill down for a bit because it's hot. But at this point, we got the distributor wired up. Hopefully, I explained that as best I possibly could. Just trying to make it as thorough as possible. Distributor's up, have my wires back on, the ECU's plugged up, literally just plugged in. The ECU jumper harness will also come with the extra side harness that'll go to like your VTEC, your NOx sensors, your oxygen sensors, O2, things like that. You do have to wire that up separately. I am not gonna do that in this video because I am not gonna use the O2 nor the NOx sensor or like pressure sensors for like the VTEC, things like that. I'll probably do it in my car when it comes to it, but this is just simply just the basics of how to get it working with OBD1. So if you are trying to run your O2 sensors, all you would have to technically do is find the pinout on the OBD1 plugs, and then, you know, whatever goes to the O2 goes to the O2, whatever goes to the NOx sensor goes to the NOx sensor, etc., etc. So yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just straight gonna run it off the ECU like that. It should be fine. Like I said, I'm just gonna run it. I might, nah. Okay. Let's see if this works. Fuel pump prime's good. Alright. Hey, look at that. First drive. I gotta cover that up. I gotta throw the intake on, but seems to be running good. Alright, so I started doing a test drive real quick, and I can literally notice the day-night difference. When it was on OBD0 ECU, it was really sluggish, like really sluggish on like off of what do you call it, off a stop sign, or like it just didn't have power. Like you can feel the car did not have power. And now ever since I just did the OBD1 conversion, like man, like I did a small pull right now and I think it was fucking good. I check engine light on. I'm more than certain it's because the O2 sensor not being plugged in. So yeah, maybe I might throw it on, but like I said, I want to throw a little tune on it, so might not do that. I'm not too worried about it. I can always disable it in the tune. But yeah, I mean, the car freaking, wow, day and night difference. Like day and night difference. I know the O2 is gonna affect it a lot too, because the AFR is a little lean right now. I think it goes like in the 17s. So yeah, I might throw the O2 on. I'm also debating, and I want to tune it to car. But yeah, OBD1 definitely helped it out. It was well worth it, and like I said, you know, it didn't take that long. And another thing too, everything else stayed stock. All I did was change the distributor, computer. That was it. Still on the resistor box, still on OBD0 injectors. Like, it was solid. The auto response is great. Did the timing. So yeah, shit feels solid. Second gear, nothing crazy. Shit does have a fat ass exhaust leak, but fuck, feels solid. And just like that, back home, idle solid, car drove good. So yeah, that's basically different in the video. I mean, that's basically the whole OBD1 conversion. Like I said, I didn't wire the O2 up because we wanted to tune the car, so we're just gonna disable it. Didn't wire the knock sensor up because the car doesn't have a knock sensor because it's not a high compression motor. Didn't wire no VTEC because we ain't got VTEC. And that's about it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hopefully it helped out some of you people that had questions or just wondering how to do this freaking conversion, because I see it asked a lot of times. This works for EF hatchback, CRX, EF sedan, EF wagon, DA. If it's OBD0, you know, throwing those Rams, because those are the only OBD0 cars I know, this should work 100%. But yeah, maybe we're gonna probably tune the car today. Maybe. See what's up. Probably make a different video on that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know. I will be glad to answer them if I'm able to. And with that being said, see you guys in the next video. Peace.